In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you pay for London's transportation system, including why you shouldn't get an Oyster card, what to do if you have kids with you, and something to be aware of to make sure you don't get double charged or fined. So how do you pay for public transport options like the bus, the tube, the train, the DLR, and others? Well, there are two simple options and two not so simple options. And the first one is by debit or credit card. If you have a debit or credit card that's Amex, MasterCard, or Visa, and it has this symbol on it, that means it has the contactless payment feature, and that's what you can use to pay for public transport in London. How to use it for the tube is that when you go up to the gates at a station, you tap your card on the card reader. This is called touching in. And then as you're about to leave the last station on your journey, you'll touch it on the card reader again, and that is called touching out. And the reason that you have to touch twice is that you are charged depending on how many zones that you travel through. For the bus, you just tap on at the card reader at the front of the bus one time, and that's it. The second option is mobile pay. If you have Google Pay or Apple Pay on your phone, you can use that to pay for public transport just like you would a debit or credit card. This is actually what I use all day, every day when I'm traveling around London. It's very easy. And in my opinion, these first two options I've just given are the easiest and simplest ways to pay for public transport, but there is one caveat you need to know, which I'm going to tell you a little bit later in the video. And before you say, but Jess, I don't want to get charged foreign transaction fees every time that I take the tube, you actually don't get charged each journey. You only get charged the next morning for all of the journeys that you took the previous day. And that's because there's something called the daily cap here in London. And depending on how many zones that you have traveled through in one day, you are only charged up to a certain amount. And then all of your rides after that are free for that day.
Okay, there's honestly no way that I can travel abroad these days without being connected. I need Google Maps, I need WhatsApp, and I want to stay safe while I'm solo traveling. But paying for roaming with your home carrier can really add up, and getting one of those finicky little local physical SIMs can be really annoying. But you can use SimLocal's eSIMs, which is the easy way to stay connected while you're traveling. Just choose your destination country and how much data that you need, then activate your digital SIM on your phone when you arrive in just a few easy steps. No physical SIM, no messing around. You'll stay connected at local rates, which will save you a lot of money, and you won't have to change your phone number. SimLocal is highly rated with almost 5 stars on TripAdvisor and Google, and they have a 60-day return policy, so you don't have to worry. SimLocal partners with top networks like 3, Orange, and EE, so you always get the best local coverage and fast speeds. 4G and 5G wherever you go. Get 10% off your SimLocal purchase with our discount code and use the link down in the description box, or you can scan this QR code to open it up on your phone. Plus, you'll be supporting everything that we do on Love in London. Okay, let's get back to the video.
You might have heard of this thing. It's called an Oyster, and it's basically a card that you add money to be able to pay for public transport in London. This is an okay option, but keep in mind that you have to pay a £7 non-refundable fee just to get this card. Then you have to figure out how much credit you should add. Make sure you always have time to add credit if you run out before you get on a tube. And if you add too much credit and you leave a lot left on the card at the end of your trip, you can get a refund, but it's kind of annoying and complicated. So again, in my opinion, the first two options are simpler and cheaper, but this is one too. Option 4 is buying a weekly travel card. If you're going to be in London for exactly 7 days, this could save you a bit of money because you pay for essentially 5 days of travel but get 7. So you get 2 days for free. However, keep in mind this only makes sense if you are indeed going to be using public transport every single day. And also the fact that you have to put the travel card onto an Oyster card means you do have to pay £7 to get that Oyster card, so that kind of eliminates some of the savings as well. When you buy a weekly travel card, you buy for the amount of zones that you plan to travel through. Most tourists are going to stay in zones 1 to 2, and if you decide to travel further than zones 1 to 2, then you can top up credit onto your Oyster card and travel with that. In my opinion, this is a little bit complicated to figure out if the savings are going to make sense for you, and the savings aren't really that much if you're staying in central London like most tourists do. So I wouldn't worry too much about this if you don't end up going for it. You won't save that much anyway. Okay, everything I've talked about so far is for adults. So how do you pay for your kids? Okay, so here's the deal. Kids up to 10 years old travel on public transport for free all you have to do is just take them right onto the bus with you, or if you're going on the tube, go through the wide gate so you can all go together. No one's gonna ask you how old the kids are or verify anything. Kids who are 11 to 15 years old do have to pay for public transport, but you can get them something called the Young Visitor Discount. This gives them 50% off of travel for 2 weeks, and it goes onto an Oyster card, which does mean you do have to buy the 7-pound Oyster card to get it. So really, you're not gonna get any savings for them for less than like 3 days of travel. So if you're on a shorter trip, it probably just makes sense for you to skip that and give them one of your debit or credit cards. And kids who are 16 or older are considered adults, so they're gonna pay just the same amount as you will. Remember how I said don't get double charged or fined? Here's how that could happen. So let's say you have a debit card and you also have that same card connected to your mobile pay. Do not use those interchangeably. TfL actually counts that as 2 separate cards, so you could be charged a lot more for an incomplete journey. Instead, pick one method and stick to it for your entire trip. This also means that you'll definitely be taking advantage of the daily cap, so you'll be paying less than if you kind of bounce back and forth. Now, the good news is this is good if you have kids and you don't have enough physical debit cards or credit cards to go around to them. So you could give your kid the physical card and then you use the card on mobile pay, and that counts as 2 separate cards and you're good to go. But do remember, everybody needs their own method of payment. Okay, time to get out of the rain. For more tips and tricks for taking London transport, make sure you get my London transport guide, which you can do via the link in the description box or by scanning this QR code. And I have, what do I have? I have something else. And I have a 101 video that breaks down how you take the tube in this city, which you can watch by clicking the box that's popping up right here. Go ahead, watch that next. And I'll see you in the next video.